Mr. Foster, good evening to you. Tell me your name and your date of birth to start, please.
Me, Reggie Foster.
Thank you so much. So, Mr. Foster, we've got to talk about 4 cases. The first case we're going to talk about are the new charges you just got arrested on, and then the other 3 are for the same reason. You had a warrant for your arrest for missing out on a court hearing. But let's start with the new charges. So, Mr. Foster, you got arrested on 1 count of narcotic drug possession, Class 4 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. Now, on those charges, sir, you will get a court-appointed lawyer to defend you. You have court hearings coming up in downtown Phoenix in our Superior Court Complex. The courtroom that you're going to go to is in the South Court Tower. It's just one of the buildings down there. And those court dates are actually going to start next week. On Monday, July 29th, you actually have 2 hearings that day. At 8:30 in the morning, you have a status conference, and at 1:30 in the afternoon, you have an evidentiary hearing. Then you're going back to the same courtroom on Wednesday, July 31st at 8:30 for a preliminary hearing. So next week on Monday and Wednesday, and your lawyer will be there. Now, at the present time, Mr. Foster, you are not entitled to be released from custody. And the reason why is because when you picked up these new felony drug charges, you were already on release in other felony cases. And under Arizona law, it automatically makes you ineligible to be released at this kind of an initial appearance. The first time that you're going to be able to find out if you can be released is next Monday at 1:30. That's the only judge that has the authority to tell you if you can leave custody or not. Now, Mr. Foster, the other 3 cases we're going to talk about are the 3 cases that you were on pretrial felony release. In those cases, you missed out on a final trial management conference. That's a really important conference because it's the last time you see your judge before your trial. Now, that all was back in January of 2023 that you missed that court date, and we haven't seen you since then. So I do have to set up a new court date for you. It's also in the downtown Superior Court in Phoenix on Monday, July 29th at 8:30, just in a different courtroom. You already have an attorney appointed for you, so we'll let that lawyer know that you're going to be back in court. And the bail that was set for you in each case is $1,000 cash only. So it's $3,000 cash for those cases. But don't try posting any bail right now, Mr. Foster, because you're being held non-bondable on those new drug charges. So unless you find out you're eligible to be released on those new charges, there's no sense in trying to post any bail on those warrants at this point. Do you have any questions for me?
I don't say nothing.
I'm sorry?
I haven't been in trouble. I ain't did nothing.
Okay. Well, that's why you have a lawyer, sir, okay?
I don't remember none of this.
Okay.
I've been in the hospital. I've been eating the head. I don't even remember the hospital. What are you talking about?
Okay. Well, you'll be able to talk with your lawyer about it. But you're not going anywhere, at least for a week. All right, Luke Kersey. All right, Luke, good evening to you. Can you tell me your name and your date of birth?
Luke Kersey.
Thank you. All right, so Luke, you're here on 2 felony probation warrants that were issued out of Pinal County Superior Court. And when people get arrested here in Maricopa County on felony warrants issued by a judge in a different county, we have to enforce those warrants exactly as they were issued by the out-of-county judge. In this particular case, your Pinal County Superior Court probation judge is holding you without bond. In other words, you can't leave custody until you see that judge. Now, that hearing in Pinal County Superior Court, and they will come and get you, is going to be this Thursday, July 25th at 8:30 a.m. Okay, you will have a court-appointed lawyer for that hearing in Pinal County Superior Court. Do you have any questions for me? All right, thank you so much, Luke. If you would, please, the officer has your paperwork. Michael Melkor? Michael, good evening. Could you tell me your name and then your date of birth?
Michael Melger.
Thank you. Michael, two cases we're going to talk about. The first case, the new charges you just got arrested on. The second case is your probation case. We're going to talk about that because you picked up new charges. Now, the new charges, one count of possessing a weapon by prohibited person, class 4 felony, one count of drug paraphernalia possession, a class 6 felony, and one count of failing to admit you are carrying, and that's a class 1 misdemeanor. Now, on those new charges, you do qualify for a court-appointed lawyer. You have hearings coming up in the Downtown Superior Court in Phoenix. These are going to start in the South Court Tower next week. Now, your first court hearing is going to be a status conference on Monday, July 29th at 8:30. Then you have a preliminary hearing 2 days later, same courtroom, Wednesday, July 31st at 8:30. Your court-appointed lawyer, Michael, will be there for you at both of those hearings to assist you. Bail is set at $10,000. It is secured, and that means you could use a bail bonding company to assist you in posting your bond. However, because you're on probation for another prohibited possessor charge, that new charge you picked up, it is considered to be an alleged violation of your probation, meaning that you have to see your probation judge. That's also going to be next week, and I believe it's the same day, Monday, July 29th at 8:30, just in a different courtroom in Downtown Superior Court. You will have a court-appointed lawyer, but you're being held without bond on your probation case. So in other words, don't try posting your $10,000 on your new charge unless you find out that the probation judge has lifted the hold on you, okay? So for right now, you're not going anywhere, at least until next Monday, July 29th, until you see your probation judge. If that judge tells you that you can be released under some conditions, then you can start thinking about posting your bond on your new charges, okay? Do you have any questions for me at all? All right, thank you so much, Michael. If you would please, the officer has your paperwork. Terry Peterson. Terry, good evening. Would you please start by telling me your name and your date of birth, Karen?
Terry Peterson.
Thank you. All right, Terry, we're going to talk about two cases. The first one are the new charges you just picked up. Then we're going to talk about an old probation warrant that you had. Now, the new charges you have, one count of drug paraphernalia possession, a class 6 felony, and one count of criminal trespassing, class 3 misdemeanor. Now, those two charges, Terry, will get you a court-appointed lawyer. We'll make sure that you have one. There's hearings coming up for you in Superior Court, which is in downtown Phoenix. These are going to be in the South Court Tower. You start next week on Monday, July 29th at 8:30, and then in the same courtroom 2 days later, which is July 31st at 8:30. So Monday and Wednesday of next week. Now, the bail I set for you on your new charges was $50. Now, Terry, the more serious matter was your probation warrant. Now, your probation officer did allege you violated some of your terms, and those are terms number 3 and 5. So in addition to the two hearings I just gave you on the new charges, you've got a probation hearing. It's also going to be Monday, July 29th, just in a different courtroom in the Downtown Superior Court. This is going to be in the Central Court building. You do qualify for a court-appointed lawyer for that also, and that lawyer is going to be waiting for you next Monday. But the judge in probation court set your bail at $5,500, and that is secured. So the total amount of your bail, if you wanted to bond out of custody and get out of here, would be $5,550. You can use a bail bonding company if you need the assistance. Just make sure that if you do bond out, that you call your probation officer within the first 3 days of getting out. You don't possess weapons, alcohol, or drugs if you're out. You don't return to the scene where you got arrested today. And you make sure you make all of your court dates so you don't risk losing any bail money, okay?
Okay.
Any questions for me, Terry?
No.
Thank you, sir. Joseph Foster? And then Clarissa, you're going to be next. Joseph, good evening.
Hello.
All right, so let's start with your name and your date of birth.
My name is Joseph Foster, 3.
Joseph, you're here on a couple of new charges. The first one is aggravated assault. It involves the impeding breathing of the alleged victim in a domestic relationship. It's a class 4 felony, and then one count of disorderly conduct or fighting, a class 2 misdemeanor. Now, you do qualify to have a court-appointed lawyer to defend you. Your hearings are all going to be in downtown Phoenix in our Superior Court Complex. The courtroom that you're going to go to is located in the building we call our South Court Tower, and those are going to start next week on Monday, July 29th at 8:30, and Wednesday, July 31st at 8:30. So same courtroom downtown next Monday and Wednesday. Your lawyer will be there to assist you at all of those. Now, bail's been set for you at $5,000. It is secured, allowing you to work with a bail company to help you post it. If you do post your bail, given this is a domestic charge, you would be supervised for pretrial services with an ankle monitor, okay? So if you bond out with that ankle monitor, just make sure you don't miss any court dates because you do risk losing bail money and picking up a warrant. Don't have any contact or physical contact with the alleged victim. Don't possess any weapons, drugs, or alcohol. Don't drive without a license. If an order of protection is taken out against you, make sure you obey whatever that order says, okay? Now, I've not placed on you a no return to the scene. I am, however, going to place that order on the co-defendant, okay? So just so you know, she will not be allowed to return to the property unless she has a police escort to get essential belongings out. I'm telling you that just because I had to make a decision as to which one of you can go home or not, and I decided it would be you and not her, okay? Any questions for me?
No, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Grab your paperwork. Clarissa? Clarissa, good morning.
Good evening, Your Honor.
So, yes, good evening, yeah. Good morning. It's my morning. I always tell that to people because I messed that up. I just got here. So, tell me your name and your date of birth.
Clarissa Estrella Perez, my date of birth.
Sorry that we had to page 2 you and bring you back, but unfortunately these things come up randomly, just based on when they fall on our calendars, and just happens to be in the middle of the night for you.
Yeah.
So let me try to get you back to your facility as soon as possible. You have a grand jury warrant, meaning that the grand jury did find probable cause on some charges against you. There's actually 3 charges from different dates. They're all the same charge, shoplifting, class 4 felonies, and they're from January 23rd, February 12th, and March the 8th of this year.
Okay.
Now, you do qualify to have a court-appointed lawyer. Your hearing is going to be in downtown Phoenix in the Superior Court, in the Central Court building down in the basement. It's called a not guilty arraignment, and that's going to be this Friday, July 26th at 8:30 in the morning, and your lawyer will be there to assist you.
Okay.
Now, for that hearing, Clarissa, it may not be the exact same lawyer that you're working with in your other cases, at least not the first one.
Okay.
After this first hearing on Friday, then I think these cases are probably going to all meet up so you can try to resolve them all at once.
Okay.
Okay, but for right now, that lawyer you see on Friday might not be the lawyer that you're familiar with.
Yeah.
All right. Now, the judge that is in charge of the grand jury sets your bail at $3,500. Now, that is secured. It will allow you to work with a bail company. It's not meant to replace the bail that's on your other cases. This is in addition to, not in place of.
Okay.
Now, if you do bond out, don't miss court. Call your probation officer within 3 days. No weapons. Don't return to the scene. Don't contact anybody that works at any of those stores, okay?
Okay.
Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Thank you, Clarissa.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Raymond Arrowwood? Michael Hernandez, you're going to be next. All right. Raymond, good evening. Can we start with your name and your date of birth?
Raymond Arrowwood.
Thank you. All right, so Raymond, you're here on your 2 probation cases. It's the same reason in both, and it's that you allegedly violated terms 3, 5, and 15. So I do have to get you back into court. This is in probation court, which is in downtown Superior Court in Phoenix, down in the basement of our Central Court building. And that's going to be next Monday, July 29th at 8:30 in the morning. Now, you do not have to talk to the probation judge by yourself because we will make sure that you do have a court-appointed lawyer in the courtroom waiting for you. And the judge in probation court has already set your bail prior to tonight when those warrants issued at $1,250 in each case. That's a total of $2,500. The judge did allow you to work with a bail company, so they are secured. And if you are able to post your bond and you get released, don't miss your court. Otherwise, you're going to risk losing your bail money and picking up a warrant. The other thing is call your probation officer within the first 3 days of getting out. That's really important because they can violate you if you don't do that. Don't possess alcohol or drugs. Don't possess any weapons. Make those court dates. And do you have any questions for me?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, sir. Michael Hernandez? All right. Michael, can I have your name and your date of birth?
Mike Hernandez.
All right, thank you. So, Michael, 2 new charges. They're both theft. They're both Class 4 felonies. They're on 2 separate dates. The first one, March 22nd. The second one, May 19th. Now, you do qualify to have a court-appointed lawyer to defend you. Your hearings are going to be in Superior Court, which is in downtown Phoenix, in the South Court Tower. Now, Michael, those court dates are going to be Monday, July 29th at 8:30, and Wednesday, July 31st at 8:30. So next week on Monday and Wednesday, and your lawyer will be there to assist you. Bail is set, Michael, at $1,000, and it is secured, meaning you can use a bail bonding company if you need help to bond out.
Okay.
Just make sure that if you do bond out, you don't return to the scene of any alleged crime, you don't have any contact with any alleged victim or witness, you don't possess any weapons or drugs. Now, it does look like you might be on probation somewhere. Are you on probation at all?
Yeah.
Okay. Call your probation officer within 3 days if you do bond out, okay?
Thank you, man.
Thank you so much, Michael. Grab your paperwork. All right. Yeah.
The deputies were saying that he does not need an interpreter, maybe one English.
Oh, good. Okay. Fantastic. Dominique? Ma'am, good evening. Tell me your name and your date of birth.
Dominique Carter.
All right. So, Dominique, you're here on a felony warrant issued out of the Pinal County Superior Court. I do have to enforce that warrant because it's an out-of-county felony warrant. We're going to enforce it just like that judge issued it, and in this particular case, your judge set your bail at $500.
Okay.
Your judge did say that you can use a bail bonding company if you need help. Your court hearing is going to be this Thursday, July 25th, 8:30 in the morning in Pinal County Superior Court. If you are still in custody on that day, they're going to come pick you up and bring you to that court hearing, and you will have a court-appointed lawyer. Now, if you are intending to bond out, you're going to have to find your way to that court hearing this Thursday, the 25th. And if you don't show up, Dominique, a warrant would issue for your arrest, okay? So I just want to make sure you understand that. If you do bond out, you got to get there, all right? Do you have any questions? Thank you, ma'am. You can pick your paperwork up. All right. All right. Mr. Perez? Mr. Perez, good evening. All right. Can we have your name and your date of birth?
Guadalupe Christopher Perez.
Thank you. All right. So, Mr. Perez, you're here on 2 cases. They were both bench warrants for failing to appear at a status conference. One of them was a dangerous drug charge, and the other was narcotic and dangerous drug charges. Now, I do have to get you back into court. Your judge wants me to reset those hearings for next week. The first hearing is going to be Monday, July 29th at 8:30, and the second hearing is going to be Wednesday, July 31st at 8:30. You're going to be able to handle both cases at the same hearings, okay? So next Monday and Wednesday. Now, the court's already appointed an attorney to represent you, so I don't need to do that again. You will still have an attorney there in that courtroom waiting to assist you, okay? Now, your bail's been set, sir, at $500 in each case for a total of $1,000. Your judge is allowing you to work with a bail bonding company if you need help to post it. Just make sure that if you do bond out, you don't miss those court hearings next week, because you would risk losing the entire $1,000. The other thing is another warrant would issue for your arrest, and chances are the judge would just increase the bail quite a bit more than what it currently is, okay? Now, no drugs, no alcohol, don't return to the scene of any alleged crime, don't drive without a license. Do you have any questions for me? Any questions? No?
No.
Okay. The officer has your paperwork. Thank you so much.
Thank you.